Items consumed during the year will be explained now. The items may be medicine, sports material and stationery. How will you show in income and expenditure account? In the expenditure side, amount paid during the year, you have to take it as a base. Along with that, add opening stock, add closing creditors and add advance paid last year for this year. Add all these items. Then less items, less closing stock, less opening creditors, less advance paid this year but it belongs to next year, so you have to subtract. When you do this, the amount you are deriving is called item consumed during the year. You can do it in another way also, that you have to open creditors account. In creditors account, opening balance credit side and closing balance debit side. And apart from that, advance paid last year you have to write it in the debit side, and amount paid to creditors, that is the base for this problem, that should be you have to write it here. And then by balance, the advance paid this year they have to write it this side. When you balance this, when you put the total and balance it, the balancing figure is called as credit purchases. With this credit purchases you have to do, with this credit purchases you should add opening stock plus per credit purchases minus closing stock. The material consumed during the year you will derive. So there are two ways you can do the sum. And when they ask you to show it in the financial statements, opening creditors will come in the opening balance sheet, that means last year balance sheet, and opening stock, advance paid last year you have to take it in the asset side of the opening balance sheet, and closing creditors will be given in the this year balance sheet, and closing stock, advance paid this year will come in the this year balance sheet. Next, I am going to explain subscription. What is meant by subscription? It is the amount paid by the members periodically. It may be monthly, quarterly or half-yearly, yearly, but it will occur very often so that the membership remains alive. So it is a source of income for the non-profit organization. How will you show it in the income and expenditure? In income and expenditure, income side, by subscription received during the year, you have to take it as a base. Along with that, add outstanding subscription of this year should be added. Add advance received last year but belongs to this year, you have to add. Less outstanding of last year subscription, less advance received this year for the next year, you have to subtract. So this deriving answer you have to put it in the outer column. When they ask you to open subscription account, how to open the subscription account? When you open the subscription account, by amount received during the year, you have to write it in the credit. And then the advance received last year should be put it in the credit side. And outstanding this year also you have to write it this side. That means that what are the items you are added in the last problem, that should be you have to put it in the same side. What are the items you have subtracted, that you have to write it in the opposite side. 2 outstanding last year you have to subtract, 2 advance this year should be subtracted, so it has to come in the opposite side. When you tally it, the balancing figure is called the amount. We are going to show it in the income outer column as a balancing figure you are supposed to show. Now I am going to explain with these different types of examples. First example, in receipts and payments, that is 31/3/2019 is the year, that is the accounting year. Receipt side, to subscription 2017 to 18 we received 18,000. This is the current year. 18 to 19 we received 1 lakh, and 19 to 20, that means next year amount we received this year as an advance 25,000. Additional information is given, that is an adjustment. Subscription outstanding 31/3/2018, that means last year outstanding is due is 20,000. This year subscription outstanding is 30,000, and subscription received in advance last year for this year is 20,000. How will you show it in the income and expenditure side? First you have to write this 2018 to 19 subscription 1 lakh, you have to take it as a base. By subscription 1 lakh. Add outstanding 28,000. How you are deriving it? Actually last year outstanding, this year outstanding is 30,000. From that you have to subtract 2,000. The 2,000, how you got this answer? Last year outstanding is 20,000, but we received this year 18,000. So 20,000 minus 18,000 is 2,000. This 2,000 is included this year as an outstanding. So 30,000 minus 2,000, 28,000 only belongs to this year. So you had to add 28,000. Then last year we received advance If this you have to be for this year, so you are supposed to add that also. So the total amount is 1,48,000. You have to put it in the outer column of income side. Example 2. In receipts and payments for this year, that is current year is 2019, to subscription for 17-18 we received 2,50,000. That means this amount belongs to last year. Current year is 10 lakhs we received for this year, and 19-20 we received a subscription for the next year as an advance we received this year. Additional information: the club has 50 members, each paying annual subscription of 25,000. So then subscription outstanding last year was 3 lakhs. How will you show it in your income and expenditure side? In income and expenditure account. In income and expenditure account, income side, by subscription, this year how much we received? 10 lakhs. First you have to write it. And then how many members are there in your club? 50 members are there. 50 into 25,000, we are supposed to get 12,50,000. Already we got 10 lakhs. So what is outstanding? 2,50,000 is outstanding. So by subscription 10 lakhs. This year outstanding is 2,50,000 yet to receive. So total amount you are supposed to receive 12,50,000. How will you show it in your old and new balance sheet? That means current balance sheet and old balance sheet. Outstanding subscription of last year is, the amount is given in the adjustment is 3 lakh. Just you write it as it is. This year, new balance sheet, subscription outstanding this year is 2,50,000, and you are supposed to receive 3 lakh last year, but we received last year amount, this year is 2,50,000. Still 50,000 is yet to pay, yet to get. So subscription outstanding last year amount is 50,000. So total amount is 3 lakh. You are supposed to show it in the new balance sheet. Example 3. Receipts and payments for the year is 31/3/2019. To receipt side, to subscription 5,20,000 we received. Additional information: this problem is entirely different from last problem. The last problem it is given year wise, but here it is subscription 5,20,000 total amount is given. Additional information: the subscription outstanding on 31/3/2018 is 12,000. That means last year outstanding is 12,000. This year outstanding is 32,000. As usual, you have to apply the formula. In income and expenditure, by subscription receipt 5,20,000. Add this year outstanding less last year outstanding. So the total amount you are getting 5,40,000. Next I am going to explain tournament. If in case 1, if tournament fund is given, tournament expenses is given, receipts from tournament is given, how will you do? In balance sheet, directly you take the tournament fund to balance sheet, liability side 2 lakh. Add tournament receipts less tournament expenses and put the amount outer column. In case 2, only tournament fund is lesser than the tournament expenses, how will you show? In income and expenditure, in this case you should not take the tournament fund to the liability side. Take the tournament expenses 60,000 minus 40,000. That means you are taking the amount from tournament fund, remaining 20,000 is expenses. You are supposed to show it in the expenditure side. In case 3, that is a third example, only tournament expenses is given in the payment side. How will you show? In income and expenditure side, income and expenditure account, expenditure side, to tournament expenses 40,000. That's all. So these are the 3 cases will be given as an example for you. Now I am going to show you in receipts and payments, if the items are given, how will you show it in the assets and liabilities and income and expenditure? Receipt side items will be either income or liability. Payment side items which are given in the payment side, either it will be an expenditure or asset. For example, to balance cash. This has to be written in the old balance sheet as cash in asset side. To entrance fee, this is a income. To subscription, income. To donation, this is a general category, so you have to write it in income. To legacy, it should be written in the income side. This is also general. To interest, this also you have to write it in income side. To rent, sometimes you may get rent and you pay rent. If it is given in the payment side, it is an expense. If it is given in the receipt side, it is a income for you. To surplus from entertainment, this is a income. To sale of newspaper, it is a income. To locker rent, it is a income. But whereas life membership fee, as I told, either it is a income or liability. The life membership fee is a liability. You have to write it is a capitalized. You have to write it in liability side. Donation for tournament fund, for specific purpose, you have to write it in liability side. Donation for building, again you have to write liability side in new balance sheet. Both the things will come in the new balance sheet. This also will come new balance sheet. Let us assume if to sale of furniture, if it is given book value is 30,000 but it is sold for 32,000, that means cost price is book value is 30,000 whereas selling price is 32,000. 2,000 is profit for us. In this case, this 2,000 should be shown in the income side. If it is loss, let us assume if this cost price is 34,000 whereas selling price is 32,000, in this case it is loss for us. If it is 2,000 is loss, you have to show it in the expenditure side of income and expenditure account. Next, payments items. It is either expenditure or asset. Buy salaries and expenditure. Buy electricity charges are also expenditure. Whereas billiards table is a capital expenditure and salary, electricity charges, office expenses, printing stationery, repair of ground, these items will occur very often. So they are considered as capital revenue expenditure. Whereas billiards table is called as capital expenditure. It will happen once in a lifetime or twice in a lifetime. And when you are buying furniture, this is also considered as a capital expenditure. You are supposed to show it in asset side. Billiards table in new balance sheet asset side. Whereas investment also considered as an asset. Sports equipment considered as an asset. Whereas sports material, it is called as an expenditure. We had to apply the formula what I taught in the beginning of this session. Defense bonds, that also considered as an asset. And then insurance premium, that also considered as an expenditure. And then one more thing I forgot to give, buy books. Books are also considered as an asset. And at last, buy balance, cash and bank. You have to show this cash and bank in new balance sheet asset side. So either this is called entrance fee, subscription, donation, legacy, or it is capital income.